Call the meeting to order. Remind everybody to please turn off your cell phones. They're distracting to the board and those attending the meeting. I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year. And I'll call this meeting to order and ask everybody to rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we established the quorum of the board. We have all 7 members here this evening. Okay, President's message for today. In just a few short weeks, we will be holding the annual meeting and the election of candidates for the Board of Directors. This year we have 3 seats available. With the implementation of our new bylaws and the changes to our election procedure, it will be possible for everyone's voice to be heard. No longer will proxies be needed to obtain quorum. No longer will proxies be used to vote in elections. No longer will the meeting start at 3 p.m. in the afternoon. Quorum and the election of candidates will be determined by the number of ballots received by the membership. So what does this mean? It means that it's extremely important to return your ballot in time for it to be counted. You can return your ballot by mail, you can return your ballot by dropping it off at the office, or you can return your ballot by attending the annual meeting on February 10th, 2016 at 7 p.m. Your ballot will be mailed to you in the next few days. There are instructions on how to prepare your ballot for it to be counted. If your property is owned by 2 or more people, a voting certificate must be returned if one is not already on file. Be sure to vote for up to 3 candidates, but not more than 3. If you have any questions at all, please contact our property manager, Lori, in the office. Like any election, your decision to vote or not to vote is entirely up to you. However, for the cost of a stamp and a little of your time, you can help decide the future of Coco Wood Lakes. In a community of our size, one vote can make the difference. Your vote is a powerful tool. By voting for particular candidates, you can help send a clear message on how you would like to see things done. Although voting is completely anonymous, how the majority of the membership votes will provide the candidates with insight to guide them in their future decisions. When you receive your ballot package, please return it as soon as possible. As many of you know, I am running for re-election. No matter how the upcoming election turns out, I want to take this opportunity to thank you for the privilege of serving on the Board of Directors for the past 2 years. I believe we were able to accomplish a great deal, and we were able to do so with the support of the majority of the membership of Coco Wood Lakes. There are still many challenges in our community, and this is the main reason your vote is so important. Thank you.
Mr. President, can I say something? I'd just like to thank all those people who sent cards and well wishes to Terry for being ill. I really appreciate it. I especially want to thank Jerry Zaslow. He went so far as to even send Terry a card at the hospital, and he sent many cards. Thank you so much. Thank you for your prayers and thoughts.
Okay, now the minutes of the November 16, 2016 meeting.
I have a couple of questions on the minutes, and maybe my memory, but did we really call the meeting to order at 8:28 p.m.?
Yes, because we had the amendment meeting prior.
Thank you. And then on
Please
new
use the mic.
business,
Please use the microphone so we can hear you. Thank you.
my question was, did we really call the meeting to order at 8:28? And Lori verified that we did because we had the amendment meeting. excuse me, I have a little dry throat. My second question is under new business, item B. It said Richard made a motion to strike item 10B. Did we have a 10B item?
Yes, we did. It was the
Okay.
temporary pack enclosures.
Oh, I remember all of that.
And
I
we
just was
took,
questioning.
it was actually, that's what it was numbered, 10B.
I didn't remember that from the agenda. So I make a motion to approve the minutes as submitted.
Second.
Jerry says seconds.
We have a motion and a second to accept the minutes. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Passed. Now we'll have the manager's report. Lloyd?
Good evening, everybody. Hope all of you are doing well. Last month, there was a busy month. Of course, everybody got their new coupons, so I had a lot of people coming in making payments and also asking about the first meeting package that went out in regard to voter certificates and how they should be filled out, and to ensure that they did have voter certificates on file. We completed pressure cleaning of the pool deck. Card room 1 has been painted. Both bathroom alcoves, the wallpaper has been stripped and they have been painted. We got a quote from Cutting Edge to replace the irrigation in the 2 front flower beds. So when we're ready to put new plants in, they're not going to die. Currently, there's 1 sprinkler head in each bed. That's not enough to survive. So because it is $500 to do each bed, Bruce had told me to go ahead and give them the okay. So they're going to be beginning work out there. We had 3 rental applications and 2 AC applications that were approved in the month of December. I've been getting quotes to get the lighting changed to LED. Unfortunately, to try and get quotes sometimes is like pulling teeth. I was promised quotes by the end of Friday. I got 1. So I'm still waiting on 2 other electricians to get us a quote. I got a call from the county the other day about all these bushes along Eau Claire Ranch and Atlantic Avenue. People are calling the county and complaining because they're trying to ride their bikes. They're trying to walk. And it is annoying. I know several days, even on Oriole, I will stop and move stuff. There's tons of garbage, the overgrowth of the bushes. I just want to make sure everybody whose house backs up to these sidewalks is a little cognizant that people do use the sidewalks to walk, ride bikes, exercise. Please just shape up the bushes a little.
And just right across the street from the clubhouse here, when I walk my dog up there to the corner of Eau Claire and Atlantic, there's about 2 or 3 houses right towards the corner.
Right, exactly. And now it's been brought to the county's attention. So before it gets to that, I thought maybe we need to put a notice on channel 63 and to make sure this is getting trimmed and cut back. Because if someone gets hurt, whoever's branch that's coming off of, they're going to end up having an issue. Also the garbage. I'm sure you guys all see it. I know Jean goes out Oriole and I come in Oriole. Monday morning alone, 3 bags of garbage. 2 weeks ago, a bicycle. The week before that, a bumper. It's atrocious, and that's what I brought up to the county. I said, isn't there something we can do to get these people? She's like, unfortunately, no.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're referring to. Garbage on Oriole, I don't understand.
People drive down South Oriole, and they think that it's a dumping ground. I picked up 12 packs of beer cans, fast food wrappers, stuff like that. And unfortunately, it is the people driving down the street, and without a maintenance person, I'm doing the best I can to stop in the morning and pick up garbage. It just seems between that road and right here on Eau Claire, it's the same thing.
Going up, yeah.
Can I ask a question?
Sure,
Why don't we have a maintenance person? You said
it's not in your budget.
It's not in the
It
budget?
is
We-
not in the budget.
We have a maintenance person when we need a maintenance person. We don't have somebody on all the time. Whenever there's work that needs to be done, we do let APM
Thank you.
know and they bring it in.
Thank you.
I can't justify having a maintenance person sit here to be on the clock and not have enough projects, so I pick up the garbage.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Is my memory incorrect? It seems to me a long time ago that I was told by the current officer in charge that South Oriole was public land.
Yes, it was, but based on the conversation I had with the young lady from the county the other day, I want to say it was approximately 2012, somebody signed over that Coco Wood Lakes would maintain South Oriole.
Oh, you're kidding.
The date she told me was approximately 2012. That's why our landscaper cuts the grass.
I would like to add to Lori's comments, this is not a problem that is particular to Coco Wood Lakes. I manage a property just west of here, and it's an enclosed community, gated community. It's condominiums, but in garden-style buildings. And it is a problem that is typical of society today, in that people just don't care. If they know you have staff, they don't care. Every Monday morning, my staff does about 4 hours of pickup, and that's simply trash, bottles, cans, water bottles, all around the property. So it is bad, it is sad, but I just want to let everybody know that it is not specific to Coco Woods. And I do drive up and down Eau Claire, I drive South Oriole, as Lori said, every morning. I was the one who told her about the car bumper. It's just, people don't want things in their car, so out the window it goes.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I'd also like to add to that, besides Eau Claire and Oreo, just on our streets within our community, there's a number of bushes and trees and hedges that infringe on the sidewalks and make it very difficult to walk on.
Okay, I'll make sure that we have an article in the next newsletter about people cutting their bushes. Also, we'll get something on Channel 63 and the website to try to alleviate some of this problem. As far as Oreo goes, I believe it's in our documents that we're responsible. I don't think anything was signed in 2012. I think the county was mistaken there, but I believe it's in our documents, but I'll check further.
Yeah, I was gonna double check it, I just had received a call from the girl, so. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
Have you ever thought of doing what the people who have the hedges, like we do with people on the lake? If they pay a little extra and somebody is paid to maintain all
The documents would have to be amended in order to do that. Unfortunately, it would be costly that way, but we have actually discussed that. Or the association just going in and doing it, and then charging dividing it amongst all the homes and charging them. But again, because the documents would have to be amended, it would be something that would need to be voted on. Any other questions? Thanks.
Thank you, Lori. Okay, Roger. Treasurer's report?
Everybody should have a copy of this month's financial, which was the end of the year. I draw your attention to the balance sheet, which is page 1. And our operating cash was $39,012. That also includes a bunch of prepayments of about $38,000. So we were running pretty close to, when I say $38,000 for prepayment of January through March dues of this year. So we did have, the cash looks good, but that's because people were paying early. Also, on assessment receivables, that number last month was around 112,000, down to 98. We've been doing a pretty good job of collecting some of our old assessments, and we've been collecting some fees on that, so that has also helped cash to a certain extent. On page 2, where it says current liabilities, you'll see there's a number there called assessments received in advance, 45,000. This is essentially the people who have prepaid their assessments for this year. We've already collected the cash, and right now that will be slowly reduced during the year whenever the assessment occurs. Other than that, our cash was, the reserves were 153,000. This is on page 1, of which we stopped our payments because we needed to conserve cash last year. So we actually owe the reserve $17,491. I don't know why it says $14,282. On the 11th, we paid back the reserve account $7,491. We need to pay back another $10,000. At the end of my discussion, I'm going to make a motion to pay back the 10 over a period of time. If we look at page 3, which is our revenue and expenses, you'll see the actual for the year was $529,472. This is really a misnomer and something we're going to be fixing next month. This is our perfect world in which everybody would have paid and there would have been no collections. Unfortunately, that's not the case. We have uncollected for the year around $46,000, and that's part of the assessment receivables. You can look at the numbers on, at this point, I don't need to repeat everyone to you, but it's interesting to note that we collected on bad debts $49.58, so that went into our income this year, money that we would not have had. We had total receipts for the year of $551,821. The salary expense of $37, that, we talked about the contract person, that's what we pay him. Utilities was $46,631, which, electric, street lights, water, trash, telephone, and then that's within reason. On page, I believe it's page 3, or 4, thank you. On page 4, our management fees were $95, because we switched during the year and our APM was more money than the old company. Legal expenses, everybody realizes that it's both us and defending the lawsuits that have been brought against us. That's the actual dollars of $29,864. Legal document expense. Lori, is that for like printing? Legal document expense?
That's probably the fees to amend the documents.
Okay.
Yeah, it's two things, Roger. It's the amendment we did, bylaws amendment, and then also the preliminary review of our documents earlier in the year.
Okay, the audit fee is $6,000. Now that hasn't been, they've been accruing for that, so that should be less this year, and we'll get some, we'll reduce the expense this year by the, it's actually an over budget for the amount. That's what we paid last year, that's why they accrued $6,000. Our service fees, we didn't have that much, we only landscaping, lakes, pools, cable was $16,000. I believe that's going down to $13,000. I have to look at my notes. Total of contract services were for the year was $221,191.
Okay, Roger, before we go to page 5, on the 6,300 management fee expenses, the $5,000 difference was because after we passed last year's budget, we contracted with APM for our cleaning personnel for the clubhouse, and they agreed to provide the cleaning at the rate of $5,000 a year. Okay. Yeah. No, go ahead.
Okay. On the next page, administrative in general. administrative and office supplies and such. You can read, I don't need to highlight, you can read all those. I mean, there's nothing that's really outstanding there. Postage was $2,000 because we were doing all these mailings last year. Gasoline was $1,200, that's for the security car that goes around the community. Office rental, that's for the copy machine. Computer expense, that's to keep Lori's machine happy. And the newsletter was $4,300, but if you look back at page 3, there's a line there for miscellaneous income. That's mostly our newsletter advertising income of $2,015. So the newsletter is actually about $2,300, for the year. And then on the last page, repairs and maintenance. We didn't have that much for the month on a year-to-date basis. We had almost $24,000. The largest item was tree trimming at $6,600. Then general was $22,000. Building repairs and maintenance, $4,000, and sprinklers were $4,300. Total for the month, almost $24,000. On the last page,
Roger, just on the tree trimming, let everybody realize we went many years without maintaining the trees. Last year we started maintaining the trees, trimming them back so that they can take the winds of a hurricane and so forth and minimize damage. And it's a 3-year, I believe a 3-year plan to get them up, and then there'll be a maintenance fee, but that's why it's so expensive for tree trimming at this time.
On the last page, insurance is actually was $24,000 for the year. There's a little interest because we pay it off on a monthly basis. Insurance tax stamp, I guess it's a statutory requirement, $25,120 for insurance. Replacement was, we put $40,961 into reserves. At the end of the month, excess revenue was $38,000, but this is based upon, if we had collected all of our dues, so I really think that number is a misnomer. I'm not quite sure what it will be. Next year, we're going to get a better picture because we're going to be doing a cash basis. What does that mean? As money comes in, we account for it. As it goes out, we account for it. And it's going to give us a truer picture of what our financial statement is. Because remember, in January, our cash is very good because we're collecting all this money. But then at the end of the month, that has to last us for another 2 months where we aren't going to be getting a lot of money coming in. So, we're really watching our cash position. And Lori reports it to me on a monthly basis.
I have one question.
Yes.
If you can answer it. Even with us selling the reserves, because we had to make sure we didn't have a shortfall on cash, the $148,294 showing in the reserves, that's actual reserve money right now without the...
No, the actual reserve money is $139,000.
Okay, so...
And the 7 of it's come in.
Okay.
So we only owe another $10,000 to the reserve.
Okay, so that'll bring us up to the 148.
And then I'd like to make a motion that we pay up to $2,500 a month to replenish our reserve account, and over the next either 4 more months, depending upon what our cash is. So it's up to $2,500 a month, not $2,500 a month.
I would like to know where that's going to come from.
It's going to come out of our operating cash.
Do we have a line item for that, to repay the reserves?
Well, I think that's what the motion is going to do, establish, because...
We have a budget that we follow, so...
Well, last year we did the same thing. We had to withdraw money and we had to pay back the reserve. I mean, it's my understanding that we're obligated to fund the reserve,
You
so...
are obligated, but I would like to know how we are going to achieve that repayment. What fund or what are we going to pay it from?
I'm open to
You can't just
suggestions.
say operating, well, that we need to have that answer. Which line item do we feel that we're going to have an excess in that we can repay it? Yes, we are obligated, but we didn't budget for it in the budget. And I would like to know how we're going to repay for
Well, it was a little difficult to budget it since we didn't know we were going to have that shortfall until November. We didn't pay November and December, and we voted in December to transfer the funds. So when we did the budget in October, it wasn't possible for us to budget those additional funds. I mean, we're going to have to find the money someplace, and we did it last year, and we're able to lessen the shortfall from the year before.
But do you
This
see
year's
what we're
shortfall.
doing? We're creating a shortfall each year.
Okay.
We have the shortfall of our operating funds, and we have to move monies from reserves. So therefore, we're obligated to repay the reserves, but we haven't yet included a budget line item to do that.
Yeah.
So I need to know I would like to know which line item that we feel that we're going to have excess this year, that we can motion to move those funds to repayment of the reserves.
Well, obviously, we only raised maintenance fees $1 a month, so we did not really put any kind of windfall money in the budget, where we have a very tight budget. If we're able to continue our bad debt collection like we did last year, we hopefully will have enough funds to cover
Okay, and
that.
my
But
second question is,
I mean, you have the question, I'd like to answer. I mean, can
Okay,
you have a
no,
suggestion on where we bring it from?
it's a two-part question, because we also did not fund the reserves for 2 months, and what provision did we make, obviously not, to repay that suspension of payments? So now, going forward, I think we need to work on that and maybe take a look at our budget and have a revision in our budget that will allow us to budget for those repayments. So I would like for Roger to withdraw his motion to repay it $2,500 a month until we review the budget and come up with a place where we're paying those funds from. So
I don't
would like you to table your motion at this point. Because we have two payments. The $15,000 that we borrowed and the 2 months that we've suspended, and if I go back and look and see it's X amount of dollars, we're probably close to $20,000 right there. You have to have a place that you're going to take the money from. And
But we did not budget the money because we had to do the budget in October.
To go back and review our budget, we may need to have another.
Well,
budget.
I believe statutorily, we have to fund the reserves that we took. I would go ahead and second Roger's budget. If as it appears that we're not going to be able to fund those, then we'll have to do a special assessment at the worst possible case, you
Point
know.
in time, you cannot make the motion because we cannot.
We did it
say-
last year, why can't we do it?
Because you did it wrong.
Well, that's your opinion. We have a motion and a second
We did
on
not have a
the,
second, did we?
I seconded it.
All right, so we're at discussion. I believe we are not at the point to make this funding because we do not have a point of origin to take those funds from. So.
Well, how do
that's my
you,
discussion.
okay.
We need
Any
to go
further
back and
discussion?
review the budget, and we either need to revise the budget.
You wrote the budget.
I did not do it on my own.
Yes, Roger and I were there, but certain things were insisted on. We cut the budget to the bare bones. We don't have another $14,000.
At the
You're not going to
time-
find something in there.
At the time we did the budget, there were comments in those budget committee meetings that were against raising the association fees. They wanted to keep everybody on point. Yes, I understand that many of the residents in here are on a fixed income. I am a salaried employee, therefore I am on a fixed income even though I am working. All right? So, but the committee did not want to make an increase in the budget to allow for a contingency or to allow for a fund that we would be able. Also, at the time the committee was meeting, we did not know that we were going to have to borrow from the reserves to meet our expenses.
That's correct.
At the end of the years. The correct format for budgeting is to allow for.
I don't need a lesson from you on how to do budgets. Okay, any further discussion?
Excuse me.
No,
This is
no, I'm not
your
going to excuse you.
information. This is for their information.
Yeah, okay, well, you've said it, and I've heard it, and we can move on.
Common sense
Do you have-
says, and general accounting principle says that you have 1 to 2 months expenses in your operating account to allow for that crossover from year to year.
Okay, you made your point. Any further discussion?
Do not talk down to
Okay.
me.
And no further trouble. You've done it enough to me. Okay, I've got a motion and a second. Do I have any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Laura
I
has
just
a
want one
question.
quick thing. We only took 10,000. We did, even though you approved 15,000 from the reserves to operating, we did only move 10.
Okay, but
Okay.
there were 2 months where we did not fund the reserves.
Right, I
And that
understand that,
means
but I
in
just
turn-
want everybody to know
Okay.
that we didn't take the full 15.
This is.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to fund the reserves as we're required to do so statutorily. All in favor? Aye. Aye, okay. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, it passed 4-3. Thank you. Okay, committees, Ladies Club.
I just need to know, I know that Jean opposed and Linda opposed. Who was against Teresa? Okay, thank you.
Thank you for opposing, ladies.
Oh, by the way, that wasn't on the agenda, so it's not a legal vote.
Thank you for standing up for the homeowners, ladies. Really?
Our semi-annual pennies plus for peanut butter for the Karen Kitchen in April. We were able to donate 53 jars of peanut butter. And that was in October, rather. We're going to be doing that again in April, and I hope we can surpass that amount of peanut butter jars. The Karen Kitchen Food Bank needs food all year long. I know you hear me saying this all the time, but it's not, well, especially the weather's so cold, I'm sure they could use some soup. Today, we have donated $14,333 worth of non-perishable food to the Karen Kitchen. And that's with everybody's help, not just the Ladies Club. And we're still collecting the bottle caps for the Caps of Love program. That provides wheelchairs for children whose families might not be able to afford to buy one. Last year, the Caps of Love program, not us, but the whole entire area, donated 18 wheelchairs to those children through South Florida. It is incredible. And please continue to donate your caps. There's a wicker basket out in the lobby. And the caps come from soda bottles, water bottles, milk jugs, detergents, and other containers. It takes 8 tons of plastic caps that are worth $3,000, and they turn them into the wheelchair. The money goes into the wheelchairs. The Ladies Club sent well cards to Gail Kavanaugh, Gert Lerner, Ann Meltzer, and Arthur Walter. We wish them a speedy and complete recovery, and a sympathy card was sent to Miriam B. Hart on the loss of her brother. March 8th is our spring gala to be held at Sawa Hibachi Steakhouse in Boynton Beach, and Gladys Ulowski will be taking reservations. And for members it's $22 and guests is $25. So if you're not a member of the Ladies Club and still would like to come, please let Gladys know. And our next meeting will be February 9th at 11:30, and we will be providing lunch. Our own special Jerry Zaslow will be doing the program, and the program will be things you should know about your estate documents. Looking forward to seeing the ladies, and if you're not a member and would like to come, please give me a call. Thank you.
Okay, Entertainment Committee?
Hello, good to see everybody here. Okay, this Saturday evening, on a lighter note, we're gonna have a good time. This coming Saturday, we are having our annual Delray Derby. Now, last year was our experimental year, and we had a lot of fun. It was great. We all had a good time. It takes a lot of preparation, but it's well worth it. So, put this on your agenda for Saturday night. Tickets are $10, and you can either call me if you have any questions, or Pat Babcock. It's on Channel 63, and it is noticed in the lobby, and it will also be in the newsletter. And then, in February, we are having a comedian slash mentalist. You can read your mind and laugh at the same time. So you want to keep that date in mind. That's February 13th. So, everybody, plan on coming and tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Bets are $2 for Saturday. It's pretty inexpensive, and we're going to have a good time. Thank you.
All right, Tony, movie night?
And Happy New Year to everybody. We had a lot of fun at our annual holiday celebration in December, and we learned a lot of new things, like who knew Spock was Jewish? There's one in every crowd. And we wanted to thank everyone who contributed all the good food that we had for the buffet that night. In January, we've had a couple of good movies here. We had Kismet, which had a very nice turnout. Some liked it, some didn't. It was a little old-fashioned, but a lot of fun. And last night, Saturday night, we had the, excuse me, everybody has a little tonight.
Age of Adeline.
The Age of Adeline, and which was a wonderful love story through time. And I think we had a very good response on that one. Miro's over there nodding her head. Coming up, we're going to start showing encore presentations. To this date, in over 12 or 13 years, we've never repeated a movie until now. By popular demand, February 6th at 7:30, warm up your vocal cords, bring your friends, Mamma Mia. A girl has a dream to make her wedding day perfect. Her dream, have her father walk her down the aisle. Well, she only has one problem. Who is he? And this is the story of how she finds out, much to Mama's dismay. Following that, we'll have a very heartwarming, fun story starring Andy Griffith called Play the Game. And it's his son who decides to show Daddy how to play the game and be a chick magnet at the retirement community. And how you score big. It's a lot of fun. Following that, in March, our second encore presentation, Humphrey Bogart, Ingrid Bergman, Paul Henry, Casablanca, which is a little reminiscent thing because Casablanca was the very first movie we showed on our very first movie night. The presentation this time will be a completely restored edition in high definition Blu-ray, and it'll look better than you'll probably ever seen it in life. Coming up ahead, after that, in April 12, 1861, Fort Sumter was fired upon, starting the Civil War. So, the most requested movie that we've had for a repeat will be Gone with the Wind, which also has its start at the same period in time. I have to rely on your feedback on that one. First time we showed it, we showed part 1 Saturday night, part 2 Sunday night. We could do the same this time, or we could do part 1 in the afternoon and part 2 in the evening on Saturday. Let me know which would work out better for you, and we'll schedule accordingly on that. There's many more goodies up ahead. Bridge on the River Kwai is among those in there. Driving Miss Daisy, we have quite a few goodies, and a lot of new ones as well. Thank you for your help. See you at the news.
Thanks, Tony. Special Events Committee, Bobby?
Sorry, I'm clapping here. Another Happy New Year. Good to see you all here.
Thank you.
The water aerobics has been so successful for us. It is now permanently on Wednesdays and Friday mornings at 9:30. If the weather is bad, Sammy will use the fitness center with the overflow going into room number 3 if it's necessary. At present, most of the mermaids want to exercise whether they go into the pool or not. That's why we're keeping it up. The New Year's Eve party was a great success, except that we would have liked to have had more than 42 people there. And we need to find a way to have the projectors situated so that we can use the floor for dancing, because it was kind of in the way there and we didn't want anybody to get hurt. The karaoke was well accepted, and there were some people who had never done it before and who said that it was a blast. So that was kind of fun for us as well. And of course, we all enjoyed John E.'s Shane story. Happy New Year to all. We continue to make sure that you're aware of all the events going on at CWL by contributing the monthly reminder sheet that you will find on the table in the lobby. That's for the entertainment committee, ladies club, anything that's happening. There is a sheet every month that gives you everything that's on there, aside from what you see in the newsletter. And thanks to all of you who support our events, not just ours, the special events committee, but the entertainment committee and the movie guys as well. Our next meeting, it's an open meeting, it is Wednesday, January 27th at 1 o'clock, and everyone's welcome. We're always looking for more people to join our group, and it'll be in the clubhouse in room number 3. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bobby. Okay. The Architectural Review Committee, I believe we have 2 applications.
Yes, 14808 Hideaway Lake Lane. The way their front walkway currently is, I sent this out to everybody. They have a concrete area, they have bushes, and then they have more concrete. They want to remove the bushes and install pavers. And they're also going to remove the other side of the concrete sidewalk. And I know I sent the drawing out to everybody and this current application.
Okay, do we have, is there any requirement from the county for any permits when you install pavers?
No, sir. Concrete, yes. Pavers, no.
Okay.
I did look it up on the county website.
Okay. So I make a motion, we permit this application.
I second it.
Motion and second, discussion? Okay. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Motion passes.
And the second one I just actually received yesterday. It's for the replacement at 6055 Winding Brook Way, the replacement of their existing roof. They're going to do everything according to the same color, and they're using Best Roofing, who is a licensed and insured contractor in Florida. And I did ask them to bring me a copy of their permit, but they do have a leak in their roof.
What color are the shingles?
Shakewood, which is the existing color on the home.
And they are current fiberglass or whatever the
Yes.
industry's using?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I make a motion that we accept that application with the requirement that they obtain all necessary permits.
I second.
Motion and second, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
And that's all I have in my
Okay.
file. I
We-
know you have.
We do have, we have another application for a shed. at 14766 Woodlodge Lane. They crossed out certain parts of the application, so I don't believe that the application is valid. I believe we should deny this application and request that they submit a corrected application.
I'll second that motion.
A second? Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Oh, okay. Okay, we're moving to old business. We had discussed LED lighting in the clubhouse in the past because we only received one actual price submission. I'm going to make a motion that we table this at this time.
I'll go along with that. I would like you to add to your motion that I'm looking at this. I actually thought this was for outside, so I would like something to be more descriptive when we get our proposals to say exactly where we're going to do this.
Okay, I'll amend my proposal to get a more detailed proposal from this vendor and any other vendors that we propose to use. Yes, Lynn?
Could we get a cost analysis? Some type of a cost analysis to see, because
I think that's a good idea, so we can see what the return on investment is.
absolutely, because our electricity is not only bulbs, it's air conditioning and
Pool,
computers,
the
the
pool,
pool.
yeah.
Those are big. The light bulbs maybe are 10% of, and that's a very, looking at what we've got right now.
Okay, Lori, can you add that as part of the proposal, that they must give us a return on investment and quote analysis of savings?
Matt from Brightness LLC is even more than willing to come in and give a presentation, should it be during a board meeting or a workshop, answer all your questions, go over, just so you know.
I think that's a good idea.
He has offered to.
Okay, I amend my motion to include those two items, that a more detailed breakdown of what they're supplying and a cost analysis. Okay.
And just as a clue, your ROI, once you want it to be 3 years or less, preferably 2.
Right.
And I will tell you that I did that at my current location. We just bought light bulbs for the interior of the clubhouse, and it cost us $1,300. Our ROI was 3.5 months on reduced electric bill alone.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Okay, the next item is the painting of the hallway. Now, Painters Plus has been doing all the work in the clubhouse of the painting. So I asked Lori to provide us with the proposal from Painters Plus. They even have some of their equipment still here from doing the clubhouse. And as we've been moving, we've been doing different rooms in the clubhouse, and that's why I'm making a motion that we go ahead and move forward with the painting of the hallway and the blue room. Do I have a second?
Second.
Sure. Teresa?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Go ahead.
That going forward, even though we've used these people on our prior projects in the rooms, that we still have a minimum of 2 proposals for the board to consider, because there may always be another licensed contractor out there that would be lower. So the government is the only one that requires you to have 3 proposals. It's always good, and this is nominal cost, I would say minimum of 2 proposals. 3 would be great, but even though we've been using these, I would like to see us moving forward on any proposal to have a minimum of 2.
Okay, so you're willing to move forward on this one, but future proposals you would like to see too? Okay, got it, Lauren? Okay. Any further discussion? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Okay, now we go into new business. This first item in new business is to suspend the voting and amenities rights of all accounts over 90 days past due. Lori?
That's okay, I need my steps. We currently have 19 accounts over 90 days. The amounts range from $10,198 all the way down to $1,047.09. So some of these are bank foreclosures. People are still living in the homes. I have a list of all 16 account numbers.
Can I just see them for a second?
Sure.
Does anybody else need to see that?
How many did you say, 19?
19.
Okay, I make a motion that we suspend the voting rights and amenity rights of those 19 accounts.
I'll second it.
I have a second. Jean, any further discussion? Or any discussion? Okay, go ahead.
And my question is to Lori, since we're suspending amenity rights as well, do you have the ability to turn off the key card access?
Yes, I do.
And do we have your assurance that that will be done?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
I shut off cards if someone calls and say they lost their card. And then they find it and they're like, it doesn't work. I'm like, well, you lost it. I shut it off.
To make sure that
No,
we can
oh yeah,
actually
definitely.
suspend
Oh, I
your
sure can.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like a first and second approval to sign off on the sheet that she's got, so that it's verified those accounts that are currently listed on there.
So the first was Bruce and seconded by Jean.
Yeah, we have further discussion with the...
Are we going to send a letter to the people?
We have to by law.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? No further discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Okay, the next item on the agenda is foreclosures of properties. We have 2 properties current that the attorneys have advised us they're ready to go to foreclosure. This is an email I received from my vendor. He says, as you know, whether to proceed to foreclosure is a business decision for the board. In my opinion, the fact that a home has a mortgage should not in and itself deter the board from proceeding to foreclose for the association, especially if the lender has not yet commenced its own foreclosure. While it is not possible for you or I to know if the lender has not yet commenced his action, it is possible that the owner is paying his or her mortgage or has worked out something with their lender to address the mortgage, and so the lender will never pursue. Of course, it is possible that a week after the association commences its foreclosure, the lender could initiate as well. If that were to occur, the board could elect to place the association foreclosure on hold while we monitor whether the bank proceeds. If the board desires, we monitor any lender action which is recommended. With regard to the 2 cases you referenced, if you review the online notes in both cases, the owners have reached out to our office so they are aware of the ongoing action. Case file 2059.009 has made some payments and indicated at one time they would pay up by year's end. However, when asked to confirm in writing with an agreement, they failed to respond, and no payment has been made in almost 2 months. With regard to case file 2059.0011, he called and said that Richard, I presume he meant Bruce, was to call him, and we asked him to place his dispute in writing. That was on 11/5. We have received nothing from him since then. In both cases, it appears to me that the owners are aware of the delinquencies and have chosen to ignore it, at least for the past 2 months for the first case file, rather than communicating in writing as instructed. At this time, both files are ready to proceed to foreclosure upon receipt of the cost deposit from the association. Please let me know if you, which to file the foreclosure action is $500 per case, and then the attorney fees. Please let me know if you or the board has any additional questions. Otherwise, we await further instructions. This is going to be my suggestion on this, and these people, I think one owes, Lori, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, around $2,300, and the other one owns around $1,600.
Through December 31st.
Okay.
Yes, you are correct.
Okay. You know, if we have the attorneys proceed on the foreclosure, then they're just going to get hit with another $500 fee, and then the cost for the attorney. I would like to see us send them one more letter advising them that we are ready to proceed to foreclosure, that they will incur additional expenses, and that we want them to contact our attorneys and make arrangements for payment.
Before you make a motion, can I make a
Sure,
comment?
sure.
There is one statement in there, attorneys can, in their process of going through a deed search or a title search, they are able to determine how far along in the foreclosure process that a bank is. Okay, so I have a couple of questions here regarding this before we make a motion one way or the other, save time. A, are the units currently occupied?
Yes.
Okay, so if we foreclose, $500 is nothing. You would then be forced to evict within 30 days. The notice would be placed on there, and there is a cost of eviction, and the sheriff would have to come. And then you are then putting, and I say this half as a business person, half as a person with a heart, you are then putting people out on the street, okay? Because you would evict them. Or, now let me finish because I want to take this train of thought out. Or you're going to make an agreement with them that they rent the house back from you. And yes, it's true, the bank can come in very shortly thereafter and take title back. Understand that should we foreclose, we have title only. We are not responsible for the mortgage or property taxes, which have probably already been paid.
And we
Okay.
can only collect up to 1 year.
We don't become liable on that. Homeowners associations are now exempt from being liable to future assessments. That was something that changed in the legislature this year. So if the units are occupied, then we go in and we are either forced to take eviction, come up with a rental agreement that they're probably not going to be able to keep because they haven't been paying the mortgage, which is more than likely less than market value of a rental. So I'm like I said, half business person, half person with a heart, all right? So they need to find out where in the foreclosure process, because should you evict them and you choose to rent the unit out, then you would probably have to rehabilitate the unit some, which has expenses on it. I would suggest then that you hire an independent property manager, and that is a property manager as opposed to an association manager. That's a licensed real estate person who is now managing units. And then, so that's a fee that you would involve for them, and then you'd have to rent it at market rent with the addendum on there that the unit is foreclosure and the bank can come and force a 30-day eviction.
Okay, I understand where you're coming from, and that's why I want to do the first step, giving them one last opportunity to make arrangements with our attorneys before we make a decision on whether to go forward with the foreclosure. That's the heart, my heart part speaking. On the business side, it's not the job of the people that are paying their maintenance fees to cover the costs of this association for those that are not paying. There are other alternatives they can proceed with to try to resolve these issues. We're moving on them now before they get to the point where they're $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. So again, I would like to see the the letter go out to them, telling them that they have one last chance.
Is the letter going to come from the attorney, because we can't communicate with them once they're at the attorney, as an association?
Well, if that's the case, then we'll have the attorney send one final demand letter, and if it doesn't work, then we'll have to come back and decide if we're going to foreclose or not.
The other thing I would like to see is to have the association, if they feel that there is a potential for that property to be sold or for the bank to foreclose it and it's saleable without saleable in current condition because everybody has to renovate, I get it, that they issue a motion to compel to force the bank to pay to take it and to move the foreclosure forward. It's a motion to compel, and it's to move the bank forward to conclude their business.
Okay, why don't you make that motion? Including the letter.
Yes.
Okay.
Letter from the attorney.
Yes.
All right, so my motion is to first have the attorney issue one last letter to the owners and attempt to have them come current with their dues. The B part of that would be to accept a payment plan where they pay current dues and have a payment plan to bring them current with the other one. Failing that, number 2 of my motion would be to have the attorney issue a motion to compel to the bank to move the process along.
Yes.
I'll second it. Okay, any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Linda opposes.
I just feel bad. We've never done this in all the years.
And that's why we have some major,
Half business.
Right now,
Yeah.
we're not making a
Get them
decision
to
to
make
get
a
them out, so
payment.
What their situation is.
I don't even want to know because we all have
yeah,
situations.
Well, I understand,
But that's why I
but somebody
think
who's
it's better.
maybe 90 years old out on the street.
Well, that is why I think we should have the attorney try to work with them one more time. And if not, then have the bank do their job.
yeah, 'cause just to let you know, that the attorneys did contact us and said they're at the point to go to foreclosure, and we didn't give them the go-ahead until we wanted to have this, we want discussion to decide how we're going to proceed. Okay? All right. Okay, the next,
It really should come on the side of the bank to do that before something like this does happen.
Even though we're past discussion, I would prefer to have the bank
Do their job.
do their job rather than have us force one of our constituents out.
Right.
That's the hard side.
Amen.
the next item on the agenda is civil action against those owing attorney fees. There's a couple issues on this. One, a demand letter has gone out to the 6 respondents on the final order, or on the challenge for the attorney fees. Gerald Collins, Esquire from KBR Legal, sent me an email which stated, our opinion is that the DPR final order on fees is joint and several against the respondents. As such, the entire $1,957.50 award can be collected from any one of the respondents or all of them collectively. The $326.25 tendered by 3 of the respondents is therefore a partial payment and can be rejected by the board if it desires in its business judgment. He further stated the deadline for payment of monetary obligations to the association was January 1st, 2016 to be eligible to be a candidate, and even an entire payment of $1,957.50 after that date would not allow a candidate to be eligible for the February election. So what he's saying is until the whole $1957.50 is paid, all 6 respondents are still owe the association. The question, we have received 3 payments of $326.25, and we have to make a decision whether to accept those payments as partial payments without any release of liability to those 3 payees, or to return those partial payments until we receive the full payment of $1957.50. Also, I'm sorry, I believe the letter that went out, the demand letter, expires on January 23rd, and the attorneys would like to know if the board would like to proceed with the collection of this debt, which would require civil action in small claims court to get a judgment.
I make a motion that we return the payments to those who paid, and that we proceed, the B part is to proceed with civil action.
I second that motion. Any discussion?
I'd like to discuss it because I paid my share. And I worked in the court system, and the way that letter reads, and I think the attorney is wrong, it says petitioners, meaning all 6 people. Each one individually, it gets divided. And that's the way it is. You want to take it to small claims, I'm not afraid to go in front of a judge.
Okay.
But I think it's wrong that you would do that. And
I would have hoped that you would
deny that amount of money that I paid it in good faith. And it was for a post-judgment against the corporation.
The attorney states that because the arbitrator did not break it down individually, it becomes joint and several against the respondent. So until we receive the entire amount, the debt's not satisfied. So I understand where you're coming from. However, a partial payment does not relieve you of your debt. Yes, I second.
Excuse me 1 second, is there any further discussion from the board?
No. Go ahead.
I'd like to know if my name is on that list.
Yes.
No, I'm asking you. Okay. All right, now, in that case, you received payment from me in the amount of $352 on December 15th of 2015.
I understand.
Let me finish, please.
The attorney forwarded that to me.
Please. According to the Fair Credit Collection Act, when you receive a certified letter, when the lawyers receive a certified letter, which they did from me, all collection activities cease. I also have paid the remaining HOA fees for the quarter on time. So therefore, if all activities cease for collecting this debt, then that means no court, no further activities until the arbitrator straightens this out.
No. Yeah, it's the debt is joint and several. You know, you can make that defense in the court case. Okay? But we're not going to argue the merits of the case here. It'll be done in the court.
So you're willing to run up more debt on this community that's not necessary?
Well, if you guys paid your bill, then no, we wouldn't have to.
I paid my bill.
No, it's
I
not.
paid my
I'm sorry.
bill.
Okay,
yes,
thank
it
you.
is paid.
Do we have any further discussion? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
Just flip off the folks.
She opposed.
Just flip
Okay.
off the folks. If you're gonna do
Okay, motion carries. Okay, the last item for business is the approval of Hafner and Company as association auditor. We're going to move to table this item. Although Hafner and Company comes highly recommended, we want to get additional proposals and then have at least Roger and maybe one or two other board members talk to these individuals before we vote on an auditor.
Second the motion to table.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to table. Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed?
Make a motion to adjourn at 10 p.m.
I second that motion. All in favor of adjournment? Okay.
You know, it's not January
Adjourned.
23rd, Jack.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having